Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back to the live stream here on the channel. Glad to see you guys all in here so far. We got Parliament, as well as Catman, Proxy, Lakeisha, Legacy, and definitely not Caleb in here, as well as Chip, Rockets, and everyone else who may be watching, maybe not chatting. Glad to see you here as well, Indiana, Sam. And yeah, let's go ahead and dive right on into today's live stream. We're going to switch over to our normal scene. Hopefully everything's good to go. June 15th. Okay, yes, it is. I'm actually going to switch all over to this really quick, just so we can see the future radar. Normally we don't start with this, but I haven't looked at the 20Z yet, so I just wanted to see what it showed real quick. So this is what we're pretty much seeing now. We've got some storms out here in northern Kansas, southern Nebraska that are severe, and those are expected to continue up to the northeast with an all hazards threat. I don't know how long we will be covering today. I plan to cover 2 hours, and then in case anything else happens for the rest of the night, I'll be on standby all the way till 11 p.m. tonight. So depends on how long we cover. Here's the risk area today. We've got a slight risk and a marginal risk. Now, this is a very high-end slight risk, and the only reason it's not an enhanced risk is due to predictability concerns and exactly where the solid supercells will initiate. And because you noticed on the HRRR didn't show it, because we are seeing these supercells fire off in Nebraska, as well as a few more cells than anticipated out here in southern Nebraska, they've actually gone ahead with a double moderate watch today, which means a couple strong tornadoes, as well as a few intense tornadoes will be a possibility. So the probabilities on that is a 50% chance of 2 or more tornadoes and a 30% chance that we see a strong tornado out of one of those 2 tornadoes. So definitely quite the wording from the SPC. I do believe that's one of the higher end watches we've seen in probably not too long. I'm trying to think back to when we last had a watch like that. It was probably maybe Minnesota the other day when we had those storms popping off. That was a 40-20 watch actually. So I don't know when we last had a watch at a 50-30. It definitely wasn't too long ago. It's not the first one of June. But anyways, we do have Connor with us today. He's going to be out and about there towards Lincoln. Lincoln? What? No, Dakin. For some reason, I thought it was Lincoln. Dakin, Nebraska. Basically inside that severe thunderstorm warning. Not that crazy of a storm at the moment. I'll definitely, show you guys his feed here and there throughout the live stream. But we're also going to talk about the future severe weather possibilities, as I see probably what's today? Saturday. So Monday. Yeah, today's Saturday. So Monday would probably be the most notable day out of the 3. Monday looks pretty interesting. Yeah, that's Monday, not Tuesday. Okay. Yeah, Monday looks pretty interesting for the potential of all hazards, especially the tornado threat as well. So we'll dive on into that once we go, a little bit closer into the live stream. We're not in the middle just yet. So we're going to keep it just a bit of coverage for a few minutes. Then we'll move into a bit of a briefing. Then we'll do more coverage until we end. Normally, that's what we do. All right, let's go back to our storms in Kansas. I went over there for just a second. These storms were popping off quite ridiculously. We had multiple reports of anywhere between 50 to 77 mile per hour winds out here. Could have actually seen a destructive severe for this area because we got a report of 77, but they decided to keep it at 70. So we'll switch over to our normal severe. That way we know, it's coverage. So just a few general severes at this moment, not anything over the top. That one's not considerable. They just downgraded that back down to 60. So, yeah, there's your tornado watch. If you're inside that tornado watch, what it means is conditions are favorable for severe storms, as well as the potential for severe storms to be tornadic. So you need to have a way, you need to have a preparedness plan. If you end up under a tornado warning, you need to know where to go, where's the safest spot in your house, where your storm shelter is, whatnot. Also, that watch means that you, if you're not in one of those severes, now if you're in one of those severes here, stay indoors, away from doors and windows. But if you're not in those severes and you're still inside that watch, make sure you're going outside and make sure things are, buckled down. Make sure nothing can fly out there. So if you're in those severes, do not go outside. That's the last thing you want to do. That is the very last thing you should do. Going outside would be a very dumb idea if you're in a severe thunderstorm warning. So basically, if you're out in this area, go ahead and start preparations to make sure things are buckled down. Make sure, if you have any things like trash cans or any loose objects that can fly, make sure you go ahead and buckle them down. And like I said, more importantly, make sure you know where your safe spot is as well, just in case you do end up under a tornado warning. I think the primary area to watch is going to be on the eastern side of this tornado watch area, closer to, I think, Lincoln, Omaha, up towards Sioux City, northwestern Iowa. I think this is going to be the main area to watch. Not so far to the west. The reason why I say that is because the temperature dew point spread is a little bit greater, a little bit further to the west towards where those storms are popping off near Norfolk right now. So I don't believe the tornado threat is all that high at the moment, but it will most likely increase quite rapidly as we go into the evening hours. And that's what I'm questioning, is how quickly this tornado threat may actually ramp up. So we'll just monitor it. And like I said, we'll be here for an hour or two, probably 2 hours, just tracking these storms. And then after that, we'll just keep an eye out. So currently, I don't believe we have any possible severes in place. These are all just normal severes. So if you're in any of these severe warnings currently, main precaution, just stay away from doors and windows. You'll be perfectly fine. Do have some extra storms firing up here in North Dakota. Where is this? I don't even know where this is. Northwest of Washburn, North Dakota. So just make sure you guys are same precaution, indoors, away from doors and windows. And this could actually be a big issue today. Our sleeper risk, per se, for the tornadoes today, not really out here in Nebraska and Iowa. That's actually quite a notable threat. People know about that now that they have a watch saying strong tornadoes possible. But back up here in North Dakota, we have a 5% chance for tornadoes that I don't really see many people talking about, and I see absolutely nobody chasing out there. And this seems like quite a big threat for all hazards, especially as we go into the very late, technically nocturnal hours. I do believe we could have some instances of 80, maybe even pushing 90 mile per hour winds up here in northwestern North Dakota. They do have a hatched area out for wind. So here's your 15 hatched. Inside that green area, we've got a 15 hatched for damaging winds. So we should see a very long-lived MCS track across this whole general vicinity here. Already severe warned way back well outside that hatched area. It's already severe warned for 60 mile an hour winds, and I don't know what the hail size on that is. 1-inch hail on that. So 1-inch hail, 60 mile an hour winds, and as that moves up to the northeast, the wind threat is going to be the biggest issue. Our main hail threat for the entirety of today should come from these storms that get going eventually. in southwestern South Dakota. They should really get going tonight. Close to about 8, 9 o'clock, these storms should really be firing up with a big hail threat. We'll see if that actually happens or not, but we are anticipating that at this moment. South Dakota, I don't see much happening in South Dakota. The main severe threat I feel like is right now, and we don't have any severe warnings, so I don't think we'll talk too much about South Dakota unless it's on the far northern side, close to the North Dakota South Dakota border. The watch probs on this, which I have not seen, 50 30, 40 30. So the potential for wow, 75-mile-an-hour winds and 2-inch hail will be a possibility inside that yellow shape here in northwestern South Dakota. Just got to watch out here in Kansas as well. This one was very late. Main threat with this will be the potential for 80-mile-an-hour winds and very isolated events of 1.5-inch hail will be possible. So main threat with this by far winds. If you're out here towards Topeka, Wichita, west of Kansas City, can't completely rule out a tornado on the northern side of that, but everything else should just be mainly a wind threat. Isolated very small to maybe an isolated large hailstone will be possible. In terms of what we're looking at now, well, we've just got radar holes. These are the radar holes that we had to deal with for hours on end back on Gracious Day, April 25th, I want to say. I don't think that's the right date, but it might be when we had those tornadoes track through Omaha and Lincoln, and then moving up west of Des Moines as well. We had to deal with these radar holes for hours on end, and it was extremely, extremely annoying and tricky to figure out what was happening. So we'll just monitor these storms. I don't think there's an imminent tornado threat by any means with any cells currently. So just make sure you're keeping an eye out on things. That's about it. Not much more to it than that. Yeah, Storm Dakota, definitely watching your area. Your area will be somewhere to watch later tonight. So right now, definitely not an issue by any means. But I will be watching your area close to about 8, 9 p.m. my time. So that's, let me check some other model runs here. Okay. Yeah, you're looking at about 6 p.m. Central. 6 p.m. Central. That's what we'll look at. So 7 o'clock my time. About an hour. About an hour. It depends on exactly where you are. You said Harris, Iowa. Okay, so oh wow, you're really far up there. Okay, actually add an hour to that. Make it 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock my time. That will keep an eye out for the potential of severe weather in your area. You're really far, really far away from these storms right now. Not in the best environment at the moment in Iowa. We're having to see a lot of cloud cover. So, I mean, at this point, we're seeing a lot of cloud cover. You really... That's what you want to see if you don't want storms. So, yeah, I know you're a chaser and a weather enthusiast, so you hate to see cloud cover. But this cloud cover is going to definitely be an issue. That's why you don't see many people targeting up here. Because I don't believe any of that's going to be tornadic until maybe we see the lower level jet kick in later towards 8, 9 o'clock my time, which is why I was saying closer to 7 o'clock your time. So definitely conditional strong tornado threat up here towards Sioux City in that general area. But I think the more notable chance for a strong tornado will be further down towards Omaha and Lincoln. But even that isn't that high of a tornado threat. Honestly, I don't see too much potential with today. The way how we're going to see a strong tornado out of this is if we see this stuff fix itself. Right now, this is just a messy cluster. There's little to no tornado threat with it, so I'm not even worried about a tornado threat at this moment in this region. But the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center is calling for the potential of a couple strong tornadoes. That is going to be a tornado warning.
Tornado warning for West Central Madison County in northeastern Nebraska, southeastern Antelope County in northeastern Nebraska, northeastern Boone County in northeastern Nebraska, Antelope, Boone, and Madison County in Nebraska.
All right, that's going to put us at a tornado warning out here. So Mother Nature doesn't care about destabilization up here. That is now a tornadic thunderstorm. Honestly, very interesting. Very interesting. Let me go check some of the ingredients up here. This might be a little bit further to the west. It is. Okay, so this isn't in the bad environment yet. Your bad environment begins, in terms of storms could die out, towards Omaha. So this is still a decently favorable environment. And I imagine why is because I'm sure we had some break in the clouds back here. Yeah, we did. See this close to about 2, 3 p.m. my time, Eastern time. We had a little bit of destabilization happening there. So definitely enough for some storms to fire, but interesting that they go with the tornado warning on that. Having over Oklahoma having a chance of bad weather today. Yeah, it's possible that you see a few instances of gusty winds, isolated hail. Can't completely rule out a tornado, but it probably won't be in Oklahoma. It's a very conditional threat out here. If I can just show you this. So that's a marginal risk. It shouldn't be for tornadoes. So less than 2% chance for tornadoes out here. If we're going to see any type of severe activity, it's going to be close to Woodward in this area. Main threat will be about 50-mile-an-hour winds. So your main tornado threat's focused up here. Even though the orange on the thumbnail goes all the way down to western Oklahoma, you guys aren't the primary focus for the tornado threat by any means. So, can't fully rule out a tornado, but if you do see one anywhere in this area, it would be a very rare occurrence, less than 2%. So it would be a very unique situation if we saw a tornado out here. Mainly gusty winds will be the issue. All right, I do want to dive on just a little bit into that tornado warning, the best to my ability, which won't be too good. Right off the bat, don't even know where the heck this area of rotation is located. Radar indicated area of rotation with the radar over, 80 miles away? How far is our nearest radar? 93 miles away. Okay, radar indicated rotation. Friggin' 9,000 feet off of the ground here. 9,000 feet up in the atmosphere. We've got radar indicated rotation. Doesn't necessarily mean it's rotating towards the ground. But definitely want to be in your safe spot just in case. You do want to be in your safe spot just in case we end up seeing a tornado out of this. So just, once again, make sure you're in your safe spot. I'm going to quickly check this. I bet Connor is mad right now because Connor also said that this stuff would not be tornadic, so I bet he's not happy with that. So we'll continue to watch this storm that Connor is on, very slowly moving up to the northeast. This thing's got a while. Like, if this thing's going to become tornadic, it's going to be a while before it does so. Unless it's some miracle, but basically, long story short, a lot of rain showers are going to impact this storm, and it should keep it from doing anything, over the top and, crazy. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, so the primary tornado threat, there's your slight risk for severe weather. Here's your tornado threat. Very large 5% chance for tornadoes here. We could have seen a 10 sig tornado prob today. Only thing is the predictability is a bit too low on exactly where that tornado threat will be the highest. They could have flopped a massive 10 sig tor here. But knowing if they did that, we'd only have one storm be tornadic, this one here, and then the rest would see barely anything. So it's a very conditional, strong tornado threat that is present. So just make sure you're ready to get under these tornado warnings if you're inside this brown area and even inside the green region as well. This is currently warned for the next, 31 more minutes for the potential of a tornado. So these northern storms, really going to be interesting. Really going to be interesting because the environment's not the best. The environment's not going to be the best, but it still seems like we are going to have at least a conditional threat for tornadoes out here. So the northern side is a conditional tornado threat. The southern side, we should see a tornado threat. So it should be a conditional strong tornado threat. Yeah, because this area, not very favorable up towards the Norfolk region, northeastern Nebraska. Um, Surface temperature, dew point spread is going to be about a 12 or so, which is actually pretty good. Um, but we did have storms tamper with this environment in the morning hours, so that's what's keeping this from being a more notable threat for tornadoes. I will say this: who the heck invited the lower level jet in today's severe threat? I didn't know we had that today. Who in the world invited that? Yeah, very, very, very favorable environment in Omaha, Nebraska, especially a little bit more to the west. This whole region here is extremely favorable for tornadoes. Um, I think this clustery, messy rain mode is what's going to completely destroy today's, really strong tornado threat. Definitely, strong tornado threats present, but from a more widespread outbreak, that cluster is going to prevent it. So if we had like one discrete storm that fired out here in southeastern Nebraska, I would be extremely worried for people in front of this storm. But thankfully, it's a mess. It is a mess out here, which is all in part to some additional convection that we're seeing here. Even the HRRR takes note of that messy mode and really doesn't have a solid potential for tornadoes until when the tornado ingredients start to tamper off closer till 9-10 o'clock tonight Eastern time. So the northern mode may be the way to go, just simply because it's discrete. So you kind of have things contradicting themselves over here. You have a favorable environment back out in this area, but a messy mode. And you've got a not so favorable environment up here, but a solid discrete motion mode here. So that's really like a 50-50. Do you just stay with this storm for the next 3 hours or so and it may never even get to a discrete cell? Or do you book it north to these storms and they may die out towards Sioux City in about an hour? So definitely not a fun day to chase. Not going to be a fun forecast. We did just get a warning for 70-mile-an-hour winds in Junction City in northeastern Kansas. Make sure you guys are preferably in your safe spot. This storm has a history of producing near 80-mile-an-hour winds with it. So probably want to just play safe than sorry with this storm and just be in your safe spot. That's Junction City, Milford, Wakefield, Upland, Industry. Is that Industry? Yeah, Industry. Chapman, Enterprise, in northeastern Kansas. April 26th. That's what the date was, Sam. I definitely don't see the potential today like I did with that day. That day should have went moderate to a debatable high risk. And I said that one of the first things I said on my live stream was this should be a moderate because it looked so impressive. Classic tornado outbreak signatures in the morning observations, and they kept it at 10 sig, and well, we all know the rest. 100-some tornadoes out of that day. Absolutely absurd. That was a crazy day to track, and it had the potential. It had the potential for it. Let me see here. Man, I'm going back through May currently. Every day, tornado. I don't know if we had a day in May where we did not have a tornado. I think we had a tornado like every day in May. Man. Another thing crazy with April 26th is the fact that the wind and hail reports combined didn't even surpass the tornado reports alone. So if you combined your wind reports and hail reports from April 26th, they wouldn't even surpass the tornado reports. To put it in perspective how crazy that day was. I definitely don't see anything even remotely close to that with today. Not even remotely close. Today is a conditional strong tornado threat. That day was a conditional violent tornado threat. So we do have the potential for EF2 tornadoes today. Strong tornado definition is an EF2+. Same goes for intense. So we'll be keeping an eye out for the potential of that. Not that high at all. About a 30% chance to see a strong tornado inside the entirety of the watch issuance today. So not, not a high end day per se. Definitely a high end slight. Definitely a high end slight. They would have pulled the enhanced risk trigger if we had more confidence on discrete storm initiation, but clearly they made a good call with not pulling the enhanced, because this storm very clustered. These storms not in the best environment, but are discrete, so that's why we got a warning on one. And I didn't even check if we have chasers up here. I know a lot of chasers are out and about today. That guy's not on it. This guy is... Ooh, he may be on it. Hold on. Let's see. He is indeed not on it. Everybody targeted that southern cluster at the moment. This person's not on it. This person's not on it. This person's not on it. All right, is the last person I have here, and he's not on it. So nobody that I know is on this tornado warning in terms of chasing it here. Which shows that we weren't expecting this. Tornado threat definitely present with this. It has at least a broad area rotation on the west quadrant of the cell. Probably not anything notable like a tornado being on the ground, but I mean, you never know. So tornado's imminent or possibly even on the ground with this storm. You never know because we are far from the radar. Tornado warning means a tornado is imminent or possibly even on the ground. So just make sure that you are seeking shelter if you're inside that warned area. Again, this is in northeastern Nebraska. This is east of Petersburg, north of Newman Grove, southeast of Oakdale, southwest of Meadow Grove, west of Battle Creek, southwest of Norfolk in northeastern Nebraska. If you're in that red polygon, seek shelter immediately. Tornado could be, tornado is imminent, could possibly even be on the ground. Let me see this really fast. New mesoscale discussion for Oklahoma. Storms capable of isolated severe wind gust and hail will be possible in the early evening. A watch issuance is not anticipated at this time. This would be from west central Kansas down through the western panhandle of Oklahoma into the northern panhandle of Texas, going into extreme east central New Mexico. I will just show that now. So there you go, right there. So severe wind gust and hail will be a possibility if you're in this area that goes through Garden City, west of Hayes, back down towards Amarillo. So not for the eastern side of that marginal just yet, but just make sure you're aware if you're in this general vicinity. Make sure you are weather aware. Shouldn't see much activity out there. I'd be pretty surprised if we end up with even a severe. All right, we're going to continue to keep an eye on this tornado warning once this tornado warning expires. If one is not continued, then we will talk about the future severe weather threats for tomorrow and specifically Monday, as well as touch on Tuesday a little bit. I saw Caden say that Tuesday looks like a bit more of a tornado threat. I believe he said that. Looks a little bit more interesting. Yeah, definitely does too. I agree with that statement. In northeastern Minnesota. Yeah, but Monday night could be pretty big for all hazards. Just a matter of if that capping lifts or not, which is going to be a last-second ordeal. Most likely. So our chaser Connor Croft is still on this storm towards southeastern Nebraska. Let's go to that somehow. Oh, there we go. So just a wind bag with this. A wind threat. That's about it. Yep, 2024 severe weather definitely continues. That's for sure. like I said, today's tornado threat is it's a conditional strong tornado threat. It's very conditional. I'm very surprised that they issued a watch for the potential of a strong tornado or two. Very much surprised by that. The new HRRR does at least note the convection in northeastern Nebraska. This is a simulated reflectivity of what we may see in the future. So generally, this is what the radar looks like right about now. We should see this storm continue to be clustered and messy in southeastern Nebraska. Probably not doing much of an interesting ordeal for tornadoes there. Northern side, it looks to quickly grow upscale into a clustery hot mess. So conditional areas for a strong tornado threat would include same place I said before, northeastern Nebraska, northwestern Iowa. Very conditional, probably not going to happen. Southwest Iowa, southeastern Nebraska, and I wouldn't fully rule out maybe a isolated tornado. Yeah, you are in the watch up there. Back out towards northeastern Missouri, southwestern Iowa. Later on tonight, you can see that storm. That line should move into northwestern Missouri. Probably more of a small hail threat, wind threat with that. A lot less of a tornado threat. So, primary tornado threat. We'll just look at supercell composite. Let's see. Yeah. Really not anything crazy, honestly. So that's why I'm not planning to do but about an hour or two here. Okay. Ready for the heat wave? Heck no. They're calling for heat indexes up to 105, I believe, next week out in my area. I'm not sure about you, but I don't really want 105 heat indices out here. No, thank you. No, thank you. Texas can keep that. I am perfectly fine. I complained with the 80s, but shoot. 80s are feeling pretty nice right about now. Now that I look at the future. No, I insist, Ben. You could take it. You could take it. 94 right now. It is 87 right here in Southern Virginia currently. Let's see. So we'll continue to watch these storms, y'all. Definitely going to keep an eye on them, that is for sure. Very conditional tornado threat and strong tornado threat today. Honestly, like I said, I'm very surprised with the wording. Personally don't see it, but National Weather Service SPC does. Everything that I've pointed out in terms of the strong tornado threat, you know, up here, back out towards Omaha, and then with this line later on tonight, it's very, very, very conditional. I mean, there is a very low chance we see a strong tornado tonight, but I mean, they have it at 30%. There's those probabilities. EF2 to EF5, 30% chance inside. Now, keep in mind, that's the entirety of the watch. That's not every 25 miles of a given point. That is every watch issuance here. So that whole watch issuance, there's a 30% chance that we see one strong tornado. And a 50% chance we see two or more tornadoes. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm listening to Connor. I think he's I think he's about to dive south. I don't know if I'm hearing this correctly, but he might be going for the wind bag back out here instead of sticking with the storm in southeastern Nebraska. If that's the case, I might as well just call the stream puts. Because if Connor's already moving to the MCS, then there ain't no tornado potential tonight. yeah, so we'll keep an eye on this. This looks like it may be a big windbag issue tonight, so just an early heads up to anybody out in front of this. The HRRR does not acknowledge that this is already formed. This could easily be a very long-lived MCS going all the way up towards Kansas City later on tonight. So just a heads up if you live generally in this area, potential to up to 80-mile-an-hour winds will be a possibility. 60 to 80-mile-an-hour winds will be possible here. That is a new tornado warning. But
tornado warning for northwestern Madison County in northeastern Nebraska, southeastern Antelope County in northeastern Nebraska, northeastern Boone County in northeastern Nebraska, Antelope, Boone, and Madison County in Nebraska.
Tornado warning continues for this stubborn storm here that decided to develop discreetly in a terrible environment and somehow be tornadic. So make sure you are in your safe spot out here in Meadow Grove, west of Battle Creek. Hopefully we don't get an ad for this, but unfortunately, knowing YouTube, I'm going to switch this and we're going to get an ad. Here's a live look from Connor Croft on the storm further to the south that is severe warned in southeastern Nebraska. That is Hank. I don't think I've seen that dude out. Holy crap, I don't think I've ever seen Hank. I don't think I've ever seen that dude out and about chasing, except for in his videos. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that guy on anyone's live streams. I'm blown away. I am shocked. Was that Hank? I gotta go back and see. That is freaking Hank. What is he doing out here? Dude. That is awesome. It's hard to catch that guy. Wow. Dude. Oh my word. Here, I'll let y'all listen to him.
Well, yeah.
Storm's coming. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
I'm Hank.
Yep. Ben Williams.
Ben?
Connor.
Connor, I've heard that name. Is there a lot of Connors, or is that...
There's probably
What's your last name?
I'm sure.
Okay. There's some Connors, aren't there?
There's a decent amount of Connors.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Hank. The Hank. I love his accent too. It is great. Man, I can't believe it. If he points the camera back to Hank, let me see if anybody's recognized him. They have. They have. Oh my goodness. Yep. Half the people in his chat recognized him. Wow. Man. Okay. Anyways. I'm done being a fanboy over here of Hank. He's just an awesome chaser. I love his chasing so much. He's the best out there. Minus Reed. He's somebody that I forget about frequently because he doesn't stream. So whenever I see his videos, I'm like, yeah, he's like the second to first best out there. And then yeah, the next day I'll be like, who is he again? He chases. Because I only see him, like, his videos typically are, like, once, maybe if you're lucky, very lucky, he'll upload twice a month. He did crank out, like, 3 videos, though. Pretty fast. Man. Also, never figured out how to pronounce this dude's first name. I still don't know how to pronounce his first name. Okay, back out to this severe weather threat here. Biggest wind threat with this line, probably the southern edge, right where that outflow boundary kind of sinks in towards Woodbine, moving up to the northeast towards White City and Dwight in east. What is this? Kind of central Nebraska. You can see that actually on velocities. I just saw that. That is at about 70-mile-per-hour winds there. So definitely want to be, at minimum, away from doors and windows out there in Woodbine. Yeah, he's probably... typically, Hank chases, like, May, April. April, May, I should say, other way. He doesn't really chase too much in June. But I don't know. If there's a notable threat, he chases. Let's see. Give me just a moment. Okay. So we're going to continue to watch this. And we'll see what happens. Okay. Oh, so Hank's the one who got mad at Connor. Oh, interesting. So Connor and Hank had a bit of beef. You don't want to get in beef with Hank. That dude is not somebody you want to get in a fight with. We just got a new warning somewhere. Are we gonna have a beep here, or where did that considerable come from? Considerable for 70-mile-an-hour winds out here is southwest Montana towards Livingston and okay.
Tornado warning for southwestern Madison County in northeastern Nebraska, southeastern Antelope County in northeastern Nebraska, northeastern Boone County in northeastern Nebraska, Antelope, Boone, and Madison County in Nebraska.
Wait. Oh, I see it. It's the storm behind it. Yeah, actually, I don't know if you saw me looking at velocities on that, but I was going to point it out that this one could be rotating as well. That's why I was switching between the velocities on it and looping it. For a split second, I thought it was a kind of an extension or so. I don't know. But there you go. That is definitely a tornadic thunderstorm there towards the Loretto area. And whatchamacallit thingamabobber, Nebraska. Northeast Nebraska. There you go. That state. That state right there. Nebraska. How is that tropical depression supposed to affect us? Texas will get flooding and rain. So there is no tropical depression. Long story short. Oh, am I supposed to add more to that? My bad. It's definitely going to affect you. There's a very large pattern that is developed that's going to favor Texas getting possibly feet of rain over the next few weeks. I'd say over the next 2 weeks or so. So if you're anywhere along the Texas coastline, including out towards San Antonio, so a little bit inland in southern Texas, I would be I would be making sure, especially if I'm in a flood-prone area, that I have a way to seek higher ground immediately, just in case we manage to see a absurd flood threat. Because some models do show upwards of what was it, like 16 inches of rain in the matter of 12 hours near Houston, I think. Which I don't think we're going to see that significant of a rainfall event, but I mean, you never know. You never know. Yeah. In the span of, 12 hours, you get 8 inches of rain. The next 12 hours, another 8 inches of rain. So in one day, you get 16 inches of rain. Wow. What really sucks too is that's an area that has been slammed with flooding. Texas has been already battered with flooding, especially on the southeast quadrant, near and pointing east-northeast of Houston. Which, real quick, for those who don't keep up with the tropics, we do have a 50% chance for a tropical depression to form in the Bay of Campeche, or however you say that. I probably just completely butchered that. But anyways, that is going to definitely be a competitor for the potential of our first named storm of the 2024 Atlantic season. Do I think it will get to a tropical storm? Personally, no. Nope. There you go. That's my thought. Do I think it will get to a depression? I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance we see a depression out of it. And a pretty good one, hence the 50%, but I don't think we'll be seeing a tropical storm out of it personally. Regardless of if we see a depression, a storm, or even heck, never know, hurricane out of it, flooding is going to be a big concern for the coastal areas, all the way from like Mobile, Alabama, back towards Mexico, all out in that area. definitely going to see a big time flash flood threat. Okay, I don't know how I feel about this area of quote rotation. I feel like it's corruption. Can I go to the right? There you go. I'd love to have a chaser out here, but everybody targeted the far southern threat, which was definitely an area I would have targeted. I would not have targeted up here. My 2 target areas that I was talking about this morning, just to myself, was northwest Iowa, northeast Nebraska, and southeast Nebraska. I most likely would have went with southeast Nebraska due to the environment. So either way, I wouldn't have been here. Doesn't matter if I chose up here or down here. Either way, I wouldn't have ended up on those tornadic storms. Here's a conditional strong tornado threat. If this is actually true, we may have a potential for a strong tornado out of this storm very, very briefly here. Very soon near Battle Creek. This might have the opportunity for a strong tornado shortly. But I'm quite convinced that area of quote rotation is contamination. Never know, though. Let's see. So we'll just keep an eye on that. Just make sure we could see, or just make sure you're seeking shelter because we could see a tornado at any given moment out here going towards Meadow Grove, Battle Creek, and Norfolk, and kind of east central Nebraska. Yes, I saw that, Ben. I did see that. By the way, I've already planned. It is already planned for me to head out and chase a low-end Category 2 hurricane or high-end Category 1 hurricane. I don't plan to chase a Cat 3 at this moment, but you never know. It could intensify to a Cat 3. So I do plan to chase a hurricane this year. So just a heads up, something to look forward to on the channel there. I've got to get a lot of preparations done for that. Lord have mercy, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done before I chase a hurricane. A lot of stuff. Let me see here. So, again, that's where we most likely have a tornado imminent or possibly on the ground. This is in northeastern Nebraska. That air rotation is still continuing off to the northeast. Again, not shocked that it fell apart there because I did think it was corruption. But still, tornadoes imminent or possibly even on the ground. Just simply due to the fact that there is a tornado warning. So make sure you are in your safe spot. This is most likely going to cell merge. If I had to guess, this is going to cell merge. Both of these storms are going to become not as tornadic for about 15-30 minutes. And then after that cell merge, they may have a chance to produce a tornado later down the line towards northeast Nebraska. I will say this, though. These storms are going to run out of fuel quite quickly as they move northeast. Like, this is a short window. This isn't no, 8-hour tornado threat. Nope. This is a very conditional, brief opportunity window of like 2 hours and then done. So we'll wait to see what this ends up doing. But the environment is definitely gotten more favorable out here. It's definitely gotten more favorable to the point where we got another tornado warning. Look at that. I wonder where that is going to be. Hold on. Let me guess. Well, I already see it.
Tornado warning for
it's to the north,
West Central Pierce County in northeastern Nebraska, northeastern Antelope County in northeastern Nebraska, Antelope, and Pierce County in Nebraska.
Now, honestly, not shocked by that, but I am surprised that is starting to rotate on the next scan. I already saw it, Ben. I'm gonna admit I did not call that one out. I already saw it. But that was going to be the storm I was gonna call out, but oh well. Man. Talk about cleaning the atmosphere. Look at this. Look at that outflow boundary pushing all this, Lord have mercy, I don't even know what this is with the radar. Honestly, don't even know. Can't even tell you. Freaking smoke? I don't know. I have no idea what it is. Probably just radar corruption or something. Radar interference. I'm not gonna try to act like I know I know what that is. No idea. Well, Northeast Nebraska is your area to pop off today. So far, we have 4 active tornado warnings up here. Oh, they just canceled one. We're down to 3. We did have one other one. Let me show y'all that really quickly. See that one that just disappeared right there? That was just canceled. So 3 areas to watch. 3 tornadoes that are imminent, possibly even on the ground, in Northeast Nebraska. So make sure you're in your safe spot if you're in any of these locations. Plainview, Brunswick, back down here towards the Loretto, Nebraska area, Meadow Grove, west of Battle Creek, Nebraska as well. Just make sure you guys are seeking shelter. This has the potential to produce tornadoes at any given second. All 3 of these warnings, all 3 of these storms could have tornadoes on the ground at any given moment. The latest Weather Prediction Center update reveals a day 3 moderate risk for excessive rainfall up here in Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota, Wisconsin. I do believe we're going to have quite the notable severe threat that unfolds on the southwest quadrant of that rainfall outlook. This is for Monday. So we'll be keeping a very, very close eye on it. And we'll see what happens. But that's your flood outlook. You can see your tropical system out here in Louisiana. Just show you all the outlook progression for that. So there's tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And this will continue into the next few days after day 5, which is Wednesday. Storm Dakota was at the December 15th Drake show that you were in a 10 sig. Because we track that on this channel. Let's see here. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I'm not going live tomorrow because it's Father's Day, so no live stream or video tomorrow. Tomorrow is gonna be a day off for Father's Day, and I will be right back here Monday. I have a stream planned. Tuesday stream planned. Wednesday stream planned. Now Wednesday's the only one that's up in the air. Wednesday could be canceled. But Monday and Tuesday is already set in stone for our live stream. Let's see. I guess we really don't even need this radar anymore. There's nothing happening here. Really don't even need it. But we'll keep it up. Alright, this is probably one of our most notable threats at the moment. It is a very strong MCS that's tracking across portions of northeastern Kansas out here, well to the west of Kansas City. Just if you're out in front of this in any of these warnings, make sure you're indoors, away from doors and windows, and wouldn't be a bad idea to get to your safe spot. This storm is known to produce up to 75-mile-an-hour winds. Back to our tornado warnings up here in northeastern Nebraska. Tuesday looks the worst up there, Wisconsin, Panhandle, and Michigan. It's far out at the moment, but just based on what I've seen, Monday looks the worst in terms of, tornadoes being a very real possibility. But who knows? I could definitely agree with you. We'll just wait a bit till we get better model data, and then I'll probably switch over to Tuesday being the better threat. So can't wait for Monday, because then I'll be able to see what's going to happen Monday and then what's going to happen Tuesday too. There's a small chance I stream tomorrow night. I do not by any means expect a live stream tomorrow night, but there's a small chance I will. Man, what's up with all these tornado warnings? I was not expecting this many today. Lot of warnings. Okay, let's go back to Connor. Gracious day, I have too many tabs open. Holy cow. Let me close some of these. I tell you, when I start streaming, it's just like tabs duplicate themselves. I go from like typically about 4 tabs when I start the stream, and I just closed out 16. So, yay. Yeah, I don't think. Let's see. Connor is just confused on what to do at this point. I think he's going further south. Think he's going for this storm? Maybe. I mean, neither one of those look favorable for anything in terms of tornadics, so yeah, another one of those days where it seems like the area Connor targets doesn't seem to be the best. But I mean, that's just what happens some chase days. Man, these storms fired up early. Also have to point that out too. The NAM 3K wins with initiation today. NAM was anticipating convection to fire up at about 4 to 5 p.m. And storms did exactly that. So the NAM was correct. Also, because the NAM has everything linear, the NAM predicted this line accurately, unlike the HRRR. So NAM nailed the location of the storms in Kansas, location of the storms in Nebraska, timing of the storms in Kansas, timing of the storms in Nebraska. So far, 4 points for the NAM, 0 for HRRR. Actually, I guess we got to give a point to HRRR because HRRR had storms firing in southeast Nebraska, whereas the NAM did not. So I guess we'll give 1 point to the HRRR because we're so nice. They did just severe this one towards, Connor pronounced it beet rice in southeastern Nebraska. This is for 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. None of these look tornadic out here, Kansas or Nebraska. In this section of Kansas, Nebraska, I should say. Back up towards northeast Nebraska, these storms are definitely more on the tornadic side. Definitely not impressive. We're about to have a solid cell merge occur here in Battle Creek. And then eventually, once they get towards Norfolk, they will start to move up to the northeast. Probably attempt to produce a tornado somewhere around this vicinity here in the near, in about an hour or so. They're either going to be tornadic around Wayne, or they're going to be weakening towards Wayne. Which I don't know at this point which one's more likely. Could go either way. Could go either way. Let me see. The best environment's already starting to look worse now. Storms have already left the best environment, actually. Those storms in southeast Nebraska are in a good environment, but not the best. The best environment is actually where this storm's firing up towards Columbus at the moment. Wonder if that's going to be an issue. Probably not. Never know, that could be a full-blown supercell in 2 hours. That tiny little rain shower near Columbus, northeast Nebraska. So it looks like our main tornado threat is going to be focused up on the northern corridor, the slight risk, in the marginal risk up here, northeastern Nebraska, northwestern Iowa, southeastern South Dakota. That looks to be where our best tornado threat is going to be for the next couple hours, depending on how those storms look in an hour and a half or so. These storms further to the south, mainly a wind threat, isolated hail threat with them. Not much of an interest out there. So we'll keep an eye on that. And also going to be watching this line as it moves up to the northeast, mainly damaging winds and isolated small to large hail there. And that might go a little bit more to the north, actually, than what I drew. Yeah, that's going to go more like this. More like this. So that's good. That should stay to the northwest of Kansas City. Don't worry, Rain Maves. I'm returning tomorrow on it. Twitter is unfortunately a quite useful site in terms of receiving weather information early. But not reliable. Never rely on Twitter for anything. Well, this storm is sub-severe. Doesn't look the best. Very interesting. I was expecting that to last for a very long time. If that just dies out now, the threat in South Dakota and Montana is just not going to do a thing. Because that's like your main threat. This MCS is your main threat for the northern side of your risk. All the way from like right in this general area. That MCS is your main threat. And we are expecting more thunderstorms to fire in about an hour and a half or so in this area, which they're already starting. They're just not the most impressive. Go back down to our tornado warnings in northeast Nebraska. None of them look impressive anymore, from what I can tell. So we'll just keep an eye on it. If anything more notable develops, I'll let y'all know. Well, there's a new warning. Look at that. Okay, that's because the old one's about to expire in less than 2 minutes. I should say about 2 minutes. Come on. Where's the beep at? It's a little delayed.
Tornado warning for northwestern Madison County in northeastern Nebraska, Madison County in Nebraska.
There you go. So that's your 4th tornado warning here. We'll lose one in a minute 35 seconds. 32, 31, 30. Oh, yeah, don't worry. I'm not going to completely count down that thing. Tornado threat, like I said, very minimal out here. I don't think we're going to see much tornadic activity anywhere in this area, thanks to the messy mode. So not really worried about tornadoes out here. Still will be possible, but not concerned anymore for the potential of tornadoes. More of just watching these storms northeast Nebraska. I would like to stream tomorrow's risk, but it is Father's Day, so I will be busy for most of, if not all of tomorrow. Plus, from what I just looked at on the models, it looks like the severe threat tomorrow kicks off really towards, let me see here. I'm going to check different models. Yeah, it looks like it kicks off very late, close to midnight. Looks like storms fired about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock midnight Eastern. Freaking another tornado warning.
Tornado warning for southwestern Madison County in northeastern Nebraska, southeastern Antelope County in northeastern Nebraska, northeastern Boone County in northeastern Nebraska, Antelope, Boone, and Madison County in Nebraska.
6 tornado warnings active at once. That is going to change now. There you go. Now we're down to 3. Okay, this one's looking pretty solid. The reason why I say that is you can kind of see the embedded structure here. Maybe a bit of a hook embedded in that. But even then, that area of rotation, possibly corruption, probably not going to last but another scan or 2 before that falls apart. But that's definitely interesting there. Just a hot mess out here. I wouldn't fully rule out a brief tornado with this over the next 4 hours till about 11 o'clock Eastern, 10, 11 o'clock Eastern, right around there. After that, storms will rapidly die out. Main tornado threat definitely up here, though. Going right up towards Sioux City. Sioux City in northwestern Iowa. How far is this from Harris? Iowa. This is 130 miles. So if Storm Dakota went to chase that, that would be the equivalent of me chasing in freaking Fayetteville. Yeah, heck no. Heck no. You're not going to catch me in Fayetteville for a slight risk. This northern one does look interesting. See the weird shape it has to it almost. I wouldn't fully rule out a tornado threat on the west extent somewhere around here with it. Definitely not imminent. Definitely not rotating at the moment. Let me look. Is this a cell merge? It just has a little bit of an interesting radar presentation to it. We'll see if it does anything. Probably won't. But you never know. Looks like this line's already starting to weaken quite quickly here. That MCS is not nearly as intense on the northern edge as what it was before. Still warned for 70, though. So we're going to stay live watching these storms. It's just difficult to tell what the heck they're doing at the moment. You really can't tell what they're doing at all. Let me see here. Yeah, definitely a lot of tornado warnings. We had 6 just a second ago, but 3 of them were duplicates, so I think Connor is planning on intercepting this severe storm on the southern edge. Wait, hold on. Give me a second. Okay. I'm trying to figure out. Somebody's saying that there may be a tornado on the ground up here. I don't know which one. Okay. Well, here's Connor's feed once again. So he's on the far southern severe out there, southeast Nebraska. He's in Beat Rice, actually, which is the middle severe. So we'll watch his feed every once in a while. But there is reports of a stovepipe. I believe somebody's reporting a stovepipe that is on the ground, or possibly was on the ground with one of these storms. I'm trying to see what chaser reported it to see if I can validate that or if it's just a rumor going around. Or another photoshopped picture. It's crazy. We've seen... Oh, hey, there it is. It'd be great if they put a location on it, but no. Let's literally just tweet tornado on the ground. There's freaking 50 states in the U.S., 3 different tornado warnings. What? How many different warnings as a whole? 13 different warnings as a whole. Not really going to be able to tell what storm you're talking about, buddy. But there is a tornado on the ground somewhere. That's about as useful information as, I don't know, the SPC when they have an outage. We'll see if one goes confirmed, one of these polygons, but there was a tornado 4 minutes ago. May still be on the ground with one of these storms somewhere in the U.S. at some point. Let's see. Less favorable environment further to the southeast, which is resulting with storm clustering. Tornado threat is still going to be possible in the short term. However, the environment downstream in southeastern Nebraska storm clusters should also remain favorable for a tornado or two. Let's see here. Northeastern Nebraska has the greatest tornado threat due to the semi-discrete storm supercells here. So we'll watch that. That tornado, by the way, video of a tornado I just saw, didn't seem to be strong, but there's your confirmed warning. Good job, National Weather Service. You guys obviously got a location that I had no idea existed. Public has confirmed a tornado. That's one. I wouldn't be surprised to see this get warned shortly near Norfolk and Hayter again. That was warned just a couple... Was that? Nope. That's never been warned before, actually. So they may warn that. So if you're out there in Norfolk, Nebraska, just be ready to seek shelter just in case a warning comes out for your area. But tornado was reported on the ground with this storm. Probably here, I imagine, when we were talking about this area of interest. I imagine that is what produced the tornado, thanks to the cell merge as well as the orientation of the supercell of both storms. By the way, what I mean by orientation here is your supercell is more like this, embedded inside of it, as opposed to, you know, per se, this mess here being more sideways. So...
Northeastern Madison County in northeastern Nebraska.
Is that the
Southwestern Wayne County in northeastern Nebraska. Southeastern Pierce County in northeastern Nebraska.
That one I called.
Northwestern Stanton County in northeastern Nebraska. Madison, Pierce, Stanton, and Wayne County in Nebraska.
There's your tornado warning, Norfolk. I don't know if you're in that. Barely north of Norfolk is inside that warning. There you go. Northwestern side of Norfolk, Woodland Park, just to your west. Tornado is imminent, or possibly even on the ground. This one looks pretty interesting. Just the look of this storm. You can kind of make out a embedded supercellular structure with it. Just like this. Mesocyclone. Inflow notch is here. Not the clearest inflow notch, thanks to this storm to the south. But definitely interesting. We are at a confirmed tornado warning to the west of that new one. Back out towards Battle Creek. Tornadoes reported on the ground. Generally in this area about now, like 8 minutes ago. With an area rotation we saw, if I just go ahead and back this up. Right here, there was an area rotation a little bit more to the west of what I drew. So that had a tornado on the ground for a couple of minutes. And most likely that tornado's dissipated. If we are to see another tornado out of this storm, it's going to be a cell cycle and a meso handoff. Probably will come from this area of velocities towards Battle Creek, moving up in that general direction. Most likely storm to develop a tornado at this second is definitely this one in Woodland Park. It's the leading edge of the supercell here. The leading edge of the cluster, I should rephrase that. But this cell merge might kill that potential. Look how good it was doing, too. You see how good this storm was doing? Look at that. It's trying to clear out an inflow notch right there, getting its hook echo, trying to elongate the supercell, make it larger here. This storm would... It's definitely going to try for the next 10 minutes, but this cell merge may get rid of that potential. If this cell merge goes into the hook, we'll see. If it goes in front of it, it shouldn't do that much. Storm Dakota, I think they'll be relatively weak by the time they get to you. I do believe they'll be relatively weak. They'll probably be at least... there will be the potential for a tornado out of them for sure. But it most likely won't be that crazy.
Tornado warning
Not like
for
this.
northeastern Madison County in northeastern Nebraska, south central Pierce County in northeastern Nebraska, Madison, and Pierce County in Nebraska.
So that is an extension to our tornado warning that is confirmed back here. The new one, however, is not confirmed. So the National Weather Service spotted that meso handoff as well, southwest of Battle Creek. And because of that, they issued a new tornado warning for Battle Creek. Man, it's just get in your safe spot if you're anywhere here. Just get in your safe spot. Holy crap, we got training tornadoes out here. It's freaking 2024 all over again. Oh, wait. That's right, it is still 2024. Most likelihood for tornadoes out of this would definitely be the first storm towards Norfolk and the last storm towards Newman Grove. That's where you're most likely to see a tornado out of this. In between, definitely the potential for it. As we saw before, still at a observed warning for 18 more minutes unless otherwise specified. But it's much more likely towards Norfolk and back out here towards Newman Grove. Two main reasons for that. One, velocities look better, but the main reason is because we actually have a little indent here and a little indent here that makes me believe we're actually seeing a decent amount of rotation northwest of Newman Grove and almost over Norfolk right now. And this is in northeastern Nebraska. Everything else further south is just a wind threat, very isolated, small hail threat. It looks like none of these are significant anymore as well. So just a line of severe storms out here as a messy cluster partial MCS is making its way through all the way from Lincoln, Nebraska down towards just to the west of Emporia in northeastern Kansas. So we'll continue to monitor that. Definitely a lot of activity, I can tell you that. None of these areas of rotations look particularly intense, per se, but definitely enough to warrant tornado warnings. So, we'll see. How have I been? Alive. It's about all you can ask for nowadays. A strong tornado now reported here from multiple chasers. Emmerich, Nebraska. This is a very strong tornado on the ground. So that is still ongoing. Hopefully everybody's in their safe spot. That is not a PDS tornado warning, but there is barns being destroyed out here near Battle Creek. So run to your safe spot immediately as a strong tornado is ongoing southwest of Battle Creek. I can't tell if it's still on the ground. Last report was 2 minutes ago. So 2 minutes ago, we had reports of a strong tornado still in progress. They've kept that observed warning for the time being, which pretty obvious why. Yep. I'm just going to find Emmerich, Nebraska one more time. Yes. So right here we had reports of a strong tornado ongoing, and that's exactly where we had our strong couplet. So most likely right out in this area here. Let me see if we can see anything here. It's so red. Holy moly. We are not going to be able to see through that. Let me take radar, not radar omega, friggin' GR2 analysis. The only actual analysis radar site. Yep, this is the place that got hit. So some of these barns and probably a home or two got hit out here. Because that is where we had our strong tornado and multiple reports of a strong tornado on the ground. Now, in order for it to officially be a strong tornado, we have to wait until the National Weather Service surveys it and gives it the rating EF2 or greater than that. But it is a decently strong stovepipe tornado. Let's see here. Okay. So we'll continue to monitor that. Still on the ground from both spotters as well as according to the National Weather Service. So just make sure you are in your safe spot. Considerable severe was just issued for Lord have mercy. Another discrete storm out here. This is going to be for Clarkson. 2-inch hail. As our first severe. That is considerable for 2-inch hail. So make sure you guys are at least indoors, away from doors and windows if you want to be better safe than sorry. You should just probably get to your safe spot out here. Just in case, because 2-inch hail is quite the large hailstone. That's going to be moving up towards the Clarkson, is that Creston, northeast Nebraska. Whole mess of tornado warnings out here. Tornado warning in the next 3 minutes, calling it. Let's see. Maybe not the next 3 minutes. Unless it's a new storm. I don't know if there's a new rotating storm. We might see one. Just a quick look at Connor's feed here. Show you guys that storm that he's intercepting towards Rockford. Oops, wrong one. Just a lot of rain out there. Wouldn't be surprised if we've got a tornado, or about to see a tornado pretty soon out here, north, or rather southwest of Emmerich, northeastern Nebraska. Definitely weird with the area of rotation, but wouldn't be shocked if we just saw a tornado. If not, tornado warnings always mean a tornado's imminent or possibly even on the ground, so just make sure you're seeking shelter still. This one in Norfolk at the moment is probably the most interesting just because of the broad area of velocities with it in this general vicinity. So we probably have at least a little area rotation right over Norfolk at this moment. One back towards Plainview. Not too much happening with it. I'll tell you this. If we're going to see a tornado warning up here in northeast Nebraska, it's probably going to be an extension for this one off to the south. Unless we see something out here, which I'd be shocked if we get any tornado warnings out here with this mess. And Storm Dakota was right. Here comes a new tornado warning. I was right as well. There you go. It is a extension further to the south of Plainview. We both called that one. You called that there'd be a warning, and I called the location of it.
Tornado warning for West Central Pierce County in northeastern Nebraska, East Central Antelope County in northeastern Nebraska, Antelope, and Pierce County in Nebraska.
All right, well, that puts us right back up to 6 tornado warnings. So we've got 6 active tornado warnings now. 1 confirmed warning in that blue box. Keeping an eye on this considerable severe. If we're going to see something tornadic out of it, it's going to be after the cell merge. If it experiences one, it is experiencing one. So after this cell merges in about, we'll say 15 minutes or so, this storm could turn tornadic near Clarkson. So we'll keep an eye on that. There's a report from a train spotter of a tornado on the ground 15 minutes ago. There you go. Yep, we already saw that, Chip. Well, I just saw the report, but we saw a video of it, what, 20 minutes ago or something? Whenever, let's see, yeah, 21 minutes ago, I believe, is when we saw it. Before it even went confirmed. Let's see. Okay. So we'll keep watching this, y'all. Anything changes, I will let y'all know. We're going to stay live a bit longer here. I'm planning to stay live for 30 more minutes. Most of these warnings expire in that time. But I don't know if we're going to see... We're going to keep seeing tornado warnings, that's for sure. But I just don't know when. There's a whole lot more storms firing up here than what was anticipated, I could tell you that. Tennessee's fine. Another report. A tornado was on the ground in Petersburg, Nebraska. Okay, that was our eastern storm. Right back here. So this storm actually did produce a tornado when I called it out with that area of a hook echo there. Let me see exactly when that report was. That way we could get the exact scan. Let's see. Right at this scan here, we got a report. Wow. That was a while ago, dude. That's when our warnings were first starting. We had a tornado in progress there. Wow. And now we got another one that has just occurred in southwest of Battle Creek. Okay. Next mesoanalysis should be shortly, so we should be able to find out if these storms are moving into a really good environment or not. 23Z, right? Yeah. 23Z will be the next update. So we'll keep watching them. I think we just got another for 70 mile-an-hour winds. Where was that at? Okay. That must have been old then, but we did just get a new tornado warning. Completely new? I don't know. We're about to find out. I can't tell. 7.
Tornado warning for southwestern Madison County in northeastern Nebraska, eastern Boone County in northeastern Nebraska, Boone,
Where?
and Madison County in Nebraska.
I don't know which one that is. Oh, okay. That's the southern storm south of Battle Creek. Got it. Far south of Battle Creek. So new tornado warning here. Now that's going to go towards Madison. Just a big mess. Big mess, man. Big old mess. Even if Connor was up here storm chasing these tornadoes, there's a very low chance he'd actually be able to properly see them. So keep that in mind as well. There's a very low chance that you're going to actually be able to see these tornadoes. So don't try to run outside looking for a tornado. There's that report. I literally just talked about that one. Yeah. Yep, that's the report that I was talking about. Oh, that's actually a little bit more east than I thought. That person said the wrong storm in that case. Oh, wow. So this thing produced 2 tornadoes. It produced one right there. And then it wrapped back around, produced another one. And it might have even produced a third one, maybe? Based on that report, we might have even seen a third one out of it, which is crazy. So we've had 2, maybe 3 tornadoes out of that one storm. That is something. So again, we're watching northeastern Nebraska currently. We may have to extend our coverage a bit longer until these warnings at least settle down a bit, because I'm not going to be ending on 7 tornado warnings. That's not a warning count I like to end on. Now 7 severe warnings, yeah, I wouldn't mind that, but 7 tornado warnings, no. We're gonna stay live. These storms should rapidly die out eventually. When, I can't tell you. I'm hoping in the next couple minutes, but this environment is very much primed, so I wouldn't bet on that. I think this is a new tornado warning now for Windside, southwest of Wayne, over Woodland Park. So we should hear, yep, that beep again.
Tornado warning for northeastern Madison County in northeastern Nebraska, southwestern Wayne County in northeastern Nebraska, northwestern Stanton County in northeastern Nebraska, Madison, Stanton, and Wayne County in Nebraska.
8 tornado warnings. In 2 minutes, we will lose 3 of those. In 17 minutes, we will lose an additional 2. And then in 32 minutes, we'll lose 3. But I would be keeping a very close eye on this storm because, like I pointed out before, it's in a very favorable environment. The most favorable environment. That's why it's been able to explode like this. The cell merge has occurred very, very, very slowly with this. So not really going too well for that. But we'll continue to watch it. Just in case. I almost got an English there. Let me see the pressure gradient here. Wow. Yeah, definitely a good environment, for sure. The thing with the southeastern Nebraska, that area, starting to get capped off. A lot messier of a storm mode, so that's going to lead to a very, very low tornado threat. Pretty much south of David City, south of Fremont. So if you're in this area, inside this watch, definitely be ready for the potential of a tornado. But the tornado threat looks to be very low south of this this northern blue line here. Anywhere north of that, so David City, Columbus, Central City, back up towards Sioux City, Sheldon, Sioux Center, Yankton, Harlington, this area here. Tornado threat appears to be pretty high in this area, including the potential for a couple strong tornadoes over the next 2 hours. This threat should persist all the way until about 9 p.m. As for how strong these storms will be the whole time, can't tell you. Cannot tell you. But what I will tell you is I'd be surprised if these stay tornadic for the entire duration of their lifespan. The reason why is because they're so clustered. But that southern storm, I'm interested to see what this one does. Alright, it's been 2 minutes, which means we should be down to a radar indicated tornado warning. I'll double check that. Radar. Yep. Down to 5 tornado warnings, all radar indicated. No tornadoes confirmed anymore at the moment. Wow. Sub-severe. I didn't think I'd be saying that anytime soon. Sub-severe in southeastern Nebraska. We no longer have severe warnings in place in southeastern Nebraska. That is shocking. That shows you how weak these storms have gotten. You are now sub-severe in southeast Nebraska. Wow. Not even a severe warning. That is crazy. Poor Connor. He's had terrible luck today and yesterday. Thing I'm keeping my eye on the most is this little notch here. Well to the southwest of, what is that? Windside? Windside. In northeastern Nebraska. Again, the leading storm and the back storm will have the best chance for a tornado. But they're messy. None of them look impressive to me. At least at the moment. Let's see here. Yeah. I mean, this environment, it's very favorable. It is very favorable. Let me show you guys what I'm looking at here. Oops, it's on this monitor too. I didn't realize I had it up on 2 monitors at the same time. Where did it go? Here it is. Oh, I didn't click it. There you go. And I'm going to push this right out onto my main screen. So here's all the photographs that are, this is as of 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. Notice how further south, they're pretty trash out here. You've got some solid ones in southwest Iowa at the moment. However, these storms aren't going to reach that environment until this begins to worsen. Then you have Nebraska. Really solid photographs, all in this area here. All in this area. So these storms will stay tornadic. Probably for, I'd say at least the next 45 minutes. But beyond that, I can't tell you. I can't tell you beyond that. The reason why is, hold on, I gotta look this up. The reason why is because of the capping. I swear I just saw something. Hold on. Yep, I knew it. They just released the new National Hurricane Center update. They have added a 20% chance now off the coastline of Florida and Georgia, and they've upped this to a 60% chance of a tropical depression now in southwestern, the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. So we're now at a 20 out here for the coastline of Florida, the Bahamas, out there Georgia as well, and a 60 for Mexico, Yucatan Peninsula, south of Texas. So we may see a depression. Our system's currently here. We may see a depression form and then probably just slam into Mexico. But regardless, we're still going to see rainfall and tropical impacts out in this general vicinity here along the southern seaboard of the United States. So If you're anywhere in this area, prepare for tropical impacts because we will have the possibility for tropical impacts over the next, I'd say, let's just go with June 23rd. We'll just go all the way till June 23rd per se, because a week is till the 22nd, so we'll just say 23rd. So anyways, back to the severe weather now. These are tornadic storms down here. Really favorable environment out in front of them. And I think this environment's going to worsen in northwest Iowa. So really, if storms are going to do anything, I think it's going to have to be before they get into Iowa due to the timing of these storms. Now, if this was if these storms fired to, like now, 7:20-ish, and they fired out here, our main threat would definitely have been northwestern Iowa. But because they fired so, and I mean so far to the west, like, holy crap, far to the west, our main threat is in the marginal to the slight risk. So good on the National Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center for having that marginal and slight risk so far west, because my word, most models had the primary threat being back out in this region here. Back out in this area. The northern, like I said before, the northern target area and the southern target area. Only the NAM model had this region. So NAM was correct again. The NAM has been really good for the last 3 events. I don't know what it's been, but the NAM has been really good the last 3 events. It's actually been nailing these events. Also, another thing, NATOcast. NATOcast also had the probabilities further east, too. NATOcast 5% began right about this area here. So this is generally NATOcast 5%. So NATOcast also didn't have its 5% further to the west as well. Already some of these storms going back to just severe warnings, not tornado warnings now. Considerable for 1.75-inch hail. Is it even tornado possible? Nope. Out here in Foster and Pierce. So I do think the tornado threat's already decreasing. Definitely will be present for the next 48... hold on, I can't do math. 38 more minutes. But after that, I don't know. After 8 o'clock, I'm just unsure. I'd have to see the surface analysis and mesoanalysis as well as the satellite imagery at that time in order to depict how favorable it looks. Right now, I would be very surprised if these storms continue beyond the Nebraska-Iowa border. So if they don't die out like right here, and they stay tornadic past this line that I just drew, I would be very shocked if we see tornadic development, just based off what I'm seeing out back in this area in northwestern Iowa. Still definitely going to be possible. Definitely going to be possible. It would have been a whole lot more likely if these storms fired close to like Sioux City, where the HRRR had them firing towards Canton. But now they're not so much, they're not that far to the northeast, so. Still watching these cell mergers to the south towards Clarkson, Nebraska, as well as that southern edge of the supercell south of Windside, Nebraska. Is that rotation on central Nebraska severe storm? Central Nebraska, buddy, what? Where? Where do you see a severe warning? Here. I'm not sure where you see a severe warning in central Nebraska. Eastern, this is most definitely rotation. This is a question mark, but probably at least a broad area of rotation. This is probably a developing mesocyclone there as well. So that's why I'm watching these cell mergers, especially that southwest storm right here. because it could be attempting to go tornadic here shortly. No, it's not tornado warned at the moment. Nope. It's not strong enough to be tornado warned. Most impressive one, though, is this one in Windside. You can see the supercellular look here. Definitely not classic. But definitely rotating. Right in here. Definitely a decent area rotation. And I think this cell merge might destroy the potential this has. Kind of like what happened further south. Let me loop it, flash warning. This storm had really good potential, then the cells merged into it from the south, and now it's just a messy line. I think we could go the exact same way with this. If this storm continues to track to the northeast, definitely going to have at least a small tornado potential with it on the southwest extent. But eventually, it's probably inevitable that these two collide and eventually die out. So thanks to the active tornado warnings, we will continue our live stream longer. We will lose 2 more tornado warnings in 4 minutes. Which ones are those? This one's definitely going to stay. This one, I don't know. They may issue a new warning for that towards Norfolk, pointing southeast, south of Woodland Park, because that still looks interesting. See the little notch you have here? Or not really notch. That's more of, typically you see a notch, which is like this, but there's not really any of that notching happening. So there's a little, maybe a little notch, but not much. But if we have wind shear, then this could turn into a hook quite quickly. The only thing is I don't think we have much of that wind shear in place, and the storm's not in the best position to become a full-blown supercell. But this one could definitely have a tornado on the ground at any second. South of Windside. That is quite impressive. Let's see. This storm also had a report of a tornado on the ground 20 minutes ago. Was that ever observed? Yeah, this storm here 20 minutes ago. So that was at 7:05. Okay. Yeah, no, that one was not observed. So we had a tornado on the ground here as well. Which I feel like I've already said that. I did. I just saw another storm chaser I know report that. So that's why I wanted to say it again. Tornado threat is becoming very low back here. Very low tornado threat now. A very low tornado threat up here. I think the main 2 areas to watch now, definitely this storm, and maybe this one, but honestly, this stuff might be dying out now. Is that yellow dot? Sorry, hit my mic. Yellow dot a debris ball? What? There's definitely no debris ball out here. Let's see here. So we'll continue to watch this. This is really the main tornadic storm at the moment. See that area of rotation? Pretty strong. Looking at almost 100-mile-an-hour rotation, 5,700 feet up. So that's decently strong. You know what? We might just conclude our live stream in 10 minutes because this stuff may already be dying out. Let me see what Connor's saying. Yeah. Connor agrees. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to conclude stream in 10 minutes, which is what I planned on originally. I thought we were going to extend stream. Maybe not. Yeah, there goes your warning. We were left with 2 warnings, and we're ending in 10 minutes, and both of these warnings expire in 15. Definitely very possible that we see a tornado in the next 5 minutes out of this storm, but after that, I think our tornado threat's now going to be minimal but present. Minimal but present. Also, this is warned for 1.75 inch hail, so a lot of these warnings are for hail now, which definitely shows that these storms are going more elevated, less surface-based, as well as more clustered, less discrete. So your short window, which, like I said, would only last about an hour or two, looks to be closing at this point. I still believe we're going to have a solid potential for a tornado all the way up until about 9 o'clock tonight, the next hour and a half. I would not be shocked at all if we get another tornado. But we've covered 3 tornadoes today in this short 2-hour live stream. So, I'll take it. Hopefully nobody was injured. I know there was a lot of good footage out there from chasers, so hopefully nobody was injured. Hopefully that that barn was just storage for, I don't know, hay or something. So hopefully everybody's okay. Haven't heard anything about anybody being hurt, so yeah. So we'll continue to just keep an eye on this stuff for a bit longer. It's already gotten so sloppy. Also, the fact that this severe is not tornado possible also says something. If they anticipated this tornado threat to continue for the next hour, this severe would be tornado possible. And that southern storm's no longer severe warned, so this cell merge looks to... Oh. Hi. It is now severe warned again. So, still wouldn't completely rule out an area of rotation on the southwest side of this storm. As for a tornado threat, I don't see it happening. But I just wouldn't fully rule out it rotating here. So, yeah, I never used this radar site in South Dakota. Things just never really got going. Bottom right corner of your of the stream here. Things just didn't get going in South Dakota today. I still believe that we will see an isolated severe out of this line here as we go into the night hours. Most likely time for that is about 10 p.m. Eastern, so 2.5 hours. And top left portion of your screen, that MCS is now severe warned again. I expect that to continue all the way until Canada. So I expect that MCS to continue all the way until about once it gets into Canada, which will be, let me do math, 2 a.m. Eastern. 2 a.m. Eastern, so, yeah. We're probably going to conclude stream here. Still tornado warnings in place. I'll show you guys those once again really quick. There we go. So still 2 tornado warnings, but this cluster is going to kill the potential. So tornadoes will definitely be possible over the next couple of hours or so. But the primary window is over to the point where Connor, our chaser, has actually just decided that he's pretty much going to stop chasing today. He's still going to be live. He's still going to be chilling out, but he's not going to be actively chasing storms. But yeah, that is going to be about it. So just if you're up in this area, northeastern Nebraska, maybe even into western Iowa, keep an eye on it. All hazards will be possible. Primary threat, large hail, following by damaging winds, and the isolated brief tornado risk will be possible. Still watching these storms as well in Iowa, northwestern Missouri. There is a chance that we see some re-intensification of these storms as they move into a more favorable environment in about an hour and a half to closer to 9 p.m. Eastern. If that would occur, or if that were to occur, damaging winds, large hail will be the main concerns there, but a brief tornado can't be ruled out. So pretty much large hail, damaging winds, and a very conditional brief tornado risk will be the main concern. But thanks to those discrete storms that we saw today in northeastern Nebraska, we managed to put that tornado count, seems to be at about 3 at the moment. National Weather Service will survey and see if that's actually the case or not. So we're going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you guys for tuning in. If need be, I will be back on here. So I'll just monitor it for the next 3 hours or so till about 10:30, 11 o'clock tonight, my time, Eastern time. And I will see you guys in Monday's live stream. There's a small chance I'll be live tomorrow. I don't plan on live streaming tomorrow. But if there's like some big development, I will. Most likely time frame for a live stream tomorrow will probably be tomorrow night. So if I do go live, it will most likely be for the 00ZHRRR, which will be about 9 p.m. tomorrow Eastern time. So again, don't plan on a live stream, but wouldn't completely, toss one out. So yeah, a massive shout out to the mods for mod in chat. Thank you guys for being here. It was greatly appreciated. And we're only 4 likes off from our like goal. So if you haven't already, hit that like button and share the channel with your family, friends, social media. I will see you guys in the next live stream, which again, I'm planning for Monday night. So yeah, that is going to be just about it. Again, just make sure if you're in the tornado watch area, still stay weather aware just in case we manage to see something pop up, which is definitely a possibility. And welcome Haley to the live stream. See you maybe tomorrow, but definitely Monday if you tune in. So yeah, once again, have a great rest of your night. Stay safe. Watch severe weather in the tropics. Goodbye. I have to interrupt your music for just a second. My apologies. Stay safe, watch severe weather, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream, probably Monday. Only one tornado warning remains. Have a great rest of your night. Good.